Hello everybody, welcome back to the Teutschenthal circuit here in Germany. The Liqui Moly MXGP of Germany, round 10 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the concluding race of the weekend. MXGP Race 2 about to get underway here. And what a race we may have in store for you. Race 1 was an easy win, if you want to call a narrow margin an easy victory, to the tune of about 9/10 of a second, but Lucas Coenen in control every step of the way in race 1 for all 18 laps. He was chased home all the way by Jeffrey Herlings. Coenen picking up his 8th win of the season. Valandren came home 3rd for Yamaha. Febvre on the Kawasaki 4th. Sewer on the Ducati crossed the line in 5th. Atmosphere continuing to build. We have had rain. If you watched the MX2 race a moment ago, you know that it was a wet one. After the heavens opened after MXGP race 1, which was hard packed, slick and dry. So those ruts are going to get a little bit deeper. It's not a mud bath by any means. It's not a splash fest either. But this racetrack, 1,550 meters long, is definitely going to be a challenge, certainly if you don't get the start either. Now, from today's lineup, in this MXGP class, 7 riders have race wins. Jeffrey Herlings has 9. Tim Geiser did have 5. Lucas Coenen has 3. Jeremy Sewer, Maxim Renault, Paul Jonas and Rome Febvre, the other race winners. But 11 riders have finished on the podium, whether it was MX2 or MXGP, from this lineup as well. So it's not an easy place to come to, and you know, expect it to be a walkover. Tim Geiser the most successful in terms of the podiums here with 8. Jeffrey Herlings with 6. Sewer with 3. But Lucas Coenen, a winner here last year in MX2 with a double race win. He was a winner in race 1 today. He's put himself very much in the hot seat to try and come away with a victory here again. That'll be back-to-back wins for him in different classes if he can do that. But no sign of things letting up. Take a look at what happened in race 1 earlier. MXGP race 1, yeah, the sun had just disappeared and it was just starting to get dark, but it was Lucas Coenen who grabbed his 6th Vauxhall shot of the season. Herlings right there behind him in 2nd. Jan Panzer in 3rd as a rider fell at the back of the grid. Febvre in 4th, but watch Ruben Fernandez, he was challenging for 3rd and 2nd. A couple of corners later, he tried to double coming into the turn, got it wrong. He went down hard, smacked himself on the left shoulder. Looks like that may be a slight left shoulder problem, either a dislocation or a collarbone. Roman Febvre lost a couple of positions, went in 3rd, quickly found his way back past Isaac Gifting, but then he struggled with Calvin Valandren the entire race. Valandren hung on for 3rd, Febvre was 4th, despite the close attentions of the number 3 championship leader. Lucas Coenen was getting caught in the latter stages by Jeffrey Herlings. It'd been a couple of times where Herlings had drawn in the Belgian, but there were just 1 or 2 mistakes. But as you said, less than a second between Coenen and Herlings as they crossed the line. Coenen with his 8th race win. Valandren was 3rd, Febvre 4th, Sewer was 5th. So that was the MXGP first race. Just let the mist clear from all the flares, having watched the riders just go out on their sighting lap. Continues to rain here at the Teutschenthal circuit. Hasn't dampened the atmosphere. They want to see a spectacle. They may just get it as well, because the weather can be a leveler. Get through the turn at the head of the field. That could be a game changer in terms of where you finish. Lisa was on the grid a few moments ago. She caught up with Roman Febvre and Calvin Valandren, the 2 riders who were 3rd and 4th respectively.
We're almost ready for the final race of the day, MXGP Race 2, but let's catch up with one of the main protagonists from that first race. It's Monster Energy Yamaha factory MXGP rider Calvin Valandren. Calvin, you had the speed in the qualifying race, and in that first race, you just kept a cool head at the head of the field. You kept Roman Febvre behind you. You were just looking really good.
Thanks, I felt really good too, and it's nice to just get a pretty decent start and run up front and just stay out of the chaos in the mid-pack. You know, sometimes that's been the case this year, is just struggling with starts and having to fight through the pack. So it was nice to finally run up front and have fun battling with the guys. I knew Febvre was behind me and he was trying a lot, I could hear him, but I tried to stay cool and ride my own race. Try to focus on Jeffrey in front and see if I can maybe find a way past him, but he was riding good too, so yeah, it was fun, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. We've had some rain, or more than some rain. Final race of the day, this is a game changer because it's a totally different racetrack, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's going to be completely different. Same thing as first race, just try to get a good start and stay up front. it's obviously going to be tricky and slippery, and just try to stay on 2 wheels.
Have a good race. Thank you. Let's grab a few words now with Roman Febvre about that first race. Roman, it was quite a frustrating one for you despite some good racing.
My speed was good, but just somehow impossible to pass. I try everything, and of course I make some mistake because I was trying some other lines, some things to pass, but honestly I could not do anything. So it was, like you said, a little bit frustrating, but it's how it is.
Okay, well, best of luck for this final race. Thank you, Roman. Okay, good luck there to Calvin and also Roman. It's time for MXGP Race 2.
Take a look at the calendar, but yeah, talk about frustrating. Roman Febvre arrived here 47 points clear. It was down to 45 after the qualifying race. Heading into race 2, it's 38 as Lucas closes in. We're almost done with the first half of the season there. Bottom left, Liqui Moly MXGP of Germany here at Teutschenthal. In a week's time, we head to Latvia. Then we get a little bit of time off before we head to Matterley Basin. A little bit more time off compared to Finland. But then they come thick and fast after that from Czech Republic onwards, right the way to Darwin, Australia, the final round, and then the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations at the end of the year at Ironman. Calvin Blindon, who we heard from a moment ago, that was his 30th top 3 race finish in his career in race 1. Lucas Coenen lines up on pole for the 4th time this year then, having won the qualifying race on Saturday. Jeffrey Herlings, Roman Febvre, Jan Panzer, who actually pulled the whole shot in that race, he'll go to the line in 4th. Ruben Fernandez was 5th, but will not line up, we believe, for race 2 after crashing out in that second, turn 4. But then the rest of the riders there as well. Jonas will more than likely not line up as well. He had a crash about 2 laps to go in that first race. So Maxime Renault will get promoted at position. In terms of the championship, talk about things moving up and down, moving and shaking. Maxime Renault, who started the weekend 6th, 3 points behind Fernandez, 13 behind Coenen, and 16 behind Tim Geiser. All of a sudden, Maxime Renault leapfrogs himself up into 3rd on 3:08. Coenen on 3:07 because Coenen fell on the opening lap in race 1. Could only get back to 16th on what was a difficult track to pass on anyway. And so 3rd position is very much in dispute. Lucas Coenen, your winner from race 1 for the 8th time this year. This is rookie season, don't forget, but he ain't no rookie. Remember that. Can Jeffrey Herlings get a better start and keep the young pretender from Belgium behind him? And what about Calvin Vollanderen? The Yamaha rider, a solid 3rd for the 3rd time this year. He's looking to repeat that and try and get on the podium for the 1st time this year. But Roman Febvre, frustrated not being able to find his way past the number 10. He had to be content with 4th place. You heard from him a moment ago where he just said, tried everything, even made some mistakes trying to find his way past, but in the end he couldn't. So 4th was as good as it got. Calvin Vollanderen won't mind about that though, because he did hold on to that 3rd place despite the pressure from Febvre. Jeremy Seewer, the Aruba.IT Ducati, another top 5 finish for the newcomers to the class. That 450 Desmo machine. Seewer picking up 5th. Renault 6, Gifting 7, Brian Boger's 8, Bonacorsi was 9, Van Donnick was 10. Jan Panzer, who started 8th, dropped down to 16th, got himself back to 11th in the latter stages of the race. And there he is, the 253, next to Roman Febvre on the gate. Lucas Coenen pulled the foxhole shot in race 1 for the 6th time this year. Who will it be that grabs the foxhole shot this time around in race 2 as the Fly Racing 15-second board prepares to be hoisted up? And there is that Fly Racing 15-second board. Remember the opening lap going into turn 4. Ruben Fernandez crashing on that double and taking himself out of the race. Hopefully everybody gets around the opening lap this time around. Gates drop, 30 minutes plus 2. MXGP race 2. The Liqui Moly MXGP of Germany. Another massive hole shot for Lucas Coenen, but he's got Febvre right there beside him and Herlings. And Coenen in there as well in 4th position. Where is Vollanderen? Is that him in? Oh, where is he? He's down in 12th place. It was Renault in 6th place. The lead Yamaha. And Boger's just ahead of him in 5th place. Herlings knows he has to act. Having watched the MX2 race a moment ago, they know passing options are going to be very restricted. Coenen doing what he had to do. He grabbed that foxhole shot, number 7 for the season for him. Heart rate's through the roof at the moment as these guys tackle this racetrack. They've only had one sighting lap ahead of this race. They know it's going to be slick and treacherous. Those ruts are only going to get deeper. It's hard and slick underneath. Slippery elsewhere as well, where you think, oh, there might be some good drive here. Where Febvre goes searching. He knows if he can find his way past Lucas Coenen early on, he's going to be in a good position to come away with the race win. It might not necessarily translate to the Grand Prix victory. We are still on lap 1, though, don't forget. Coenen doing his best to keep the Frenchman behind him. Herlings already losing toe. A mistake there from Febvre as he tried to cut back across the turn. Looked like Herlings got held up there momentarily as well in that 3rd position. Coenen off in 4th, Boger's 5th, Renault 6th, Teutschenthal, Gifting, Vlaanderen, Panzer, your top 10. Your 5th place finisher in race 1, Jeremy Seaward down in 16th, head of Ferrato, Trash, Watson, who had a slight niggle early on today, lower back, but okay. And Cato Nickel in 20th place. Watch this here, tries to go in and out early, but Herlings almost comes in hot there. He had to just stall momentarily. He saw the movement on the bike of Herlings' bike there as he hit all those holes through the turn. Febvre looking to get away with that one as well in 2nd position. Back end coming around on him. Just a warning. Where are the limits of adhesion? Well, Febvre just about found them. Just about stayed within the limits. Look, could have been a high side, but it wasn't. Lives to fight another lap and go in pursuit of Coenen and potential race win. All the timing on the left-hand side. Stauffer and Sterry are not there in 2nd and 3rd. Coenen over the line. 1st lap, 2:08.127. Febvre, despite that little error, 2:08.261. Herlings 3rd, 2:10.5. He's already 2.6 seconds behind Febvre. Romain Febvre carrying good speed through turn 7, that right-hander. Boger's up to 4th, Coenen down to 5th. Renault 6th. So Boger's and Coenen now, fighting over 4th place. Max and Renault just behind them. Don't forget, in terms of the championship, that 3rd place battle, Renault 1 point clear of Coenen coming into race 2. They are going to be tied as it stands right now. And Renault probably knows that as well. I'm sure he would have seen the results and the championship positions. Of course, he was eyeing up potential World Championship title, but with the problems that he's had during the season, get himself back into it. 3rd may be as good as it gets for the Monster Energy Yamaha rider. So all those races that he did injured now starting to pay off for the 959 Frenchman. Currently circulating in 6th place. Cam Vlaanderen is up to 8th now. He was 12th on the opening lap. He's knocking on the door for a podium, but it's going to be very, very difficult from here because Coenen, Herlings and Febvre, they are locking out the top 3 steps as it stands. Lucas Coenen on 50, Herlings on 42, Romain Febvre on 40, Vlaanderen on 33. So he needs to get a bit of a move on, does Vlaanderen, if he is to secure that podium here this weekend in Germany, the 1st of the season. These two pulling away from Herlings. Herlings almost 3 seconds further back behind the Frenchman, but it's Febvre who is pushing on here. The gap 1.1 as they hit the line at the end of lap 2. Coenen having a bit of a moment there, look. Just a warning, again, as we saw with Romain Febvre at the end of the opening lap. Where are the limits when the circuit has had rain? Lucas Coenen looking as cool as he did in the first race. Remember in Portugal, Coenen went 1-1 for the second time this year, following on from Switzerland. He's eyeing up another 1-1 here today, potentially. Still plenty of time to run though, but for now it's Coenen, Febvre and Herlings who lead the way. Febvre again looking for creative lines, outside, inside cutbacks. Anything not to get bogged down in those deep, Nadgery, gnarly ruts. Whoa, back end almost off the side of the track there for Coenen as he came into land as well. Got a bit of a kick, the back end went out to the left. It looked like he rode the edge of the bank there before it kind of came back into line. Febvre keeping Coenen honest once again. Portugal. Coenen won all 3 races, didn't he? Won the qualifying race, took the full 10 points, went 1-1. Won the qualifying race here on Saturday. Won the first race. Are we going to see a second clean sweep of races for Lucas Coenen in 2025? He'll get the gap down to 35 points if he stays here. Championship is not over. Gifting down the inside of Calvin Verlanen, or Verlanen trying to find his way past, but it looks like Gifting has found his way by. And Verlanen now down to 9th place. So was there a mistake in that turn for the number 10? I think there was. He's now coming under pressure. Yeah, I think he's been down, he's made a mistake, or he's got some kind of issue, because Jan Panzer has also gone by. Trying to get himself back into the race here. Calvin Verlanen. Panzer moves up to 9th place. And he can't relax here either, because trying to go around the outside, Jeremy Seewer on the Aruba.it Ducati. He has a Coenen moment, smashes through the barriers. Whoa, I tell you what, that Marshall, very, very lucky. Jeremy Seewer in 11th position, trying to find his way past Calvin Verlanen a moment ago, going off track through the barriers, managed to stay upright. I don't think he lost a position, because he had about 5.5 seconds over Thomas Kohu. Watch this here, just grabs a little bit of sidewall, and then look at this, straight through the barrier there, gets himself back into the race, but very, very lucky escape for the Marshal. Cost him some time as well, hasn't it? Meanwhile, two Fantics, or is this the 959 of Renault closing in on his main rival for that 3rd place in the championship? Coldenoff ahead of him in 5th, Renault in 6th. Fantic Factory MXGP rider Coldenoff has been a little bit off the pace in recent weeks. 8th and 10th in Spain and France, looking to rebound here if he can. It'll be 9th overall here, but a good solid ride in race 2 is what he's looking at. So Max and Renault, the fight for 3rd in the championship between these two, tied on points at the moment. Can't afford to switch off. Nobody really kind of going in search of new creative lines, because they all know they're in good positions and they can lose more than they can gain. Like outside there, top of the hill, you're not going to go into virgin territory when the clean line, the most used line, is probably the safest bet. Doesn't mean to say it's the best line in terms of it's not smooth by any means. Anyway, here's Bogus. He's up in the 4th place. He's already pulled 4.2 clear of his teammate. And this is how Bogus found his way by. Forced his way down the inside. Just coming out of the right-hander. And then went around him, turn 7. 2 corners after the finish line. That was early on. And leaped and leapt past his stablemate over the next step down and step up. Good showing this for Brian Bogus. Bogus got 7th overall in Kozar, round 2. Did that with a 4th in race 2 as well. On a day where Coenen and Bonacorsi, his 2 teammates, were 2nd and 3rd. So 2, 3 and 4 in the race, 2nd and 3rd on the day. Bogus getting a fantastic result, but again, just being a little bit off for one reason or another, but looking to bounce back here with a solid performance in race 2. Lucas Coenen just set the fastest lap of the race, 2:04.887. Febvre, no reply for him at the moment, 3.7 seconds further back. Herlings in 3rd. Likewise, is he just sitting back off of Romain Febvre? If he is, 4.3 seconds is quite the way to sit back just to preserve goggles for the later stages of the race. Rain looks like it's surpassed, not too many umbrellas out there on track. Can't see too much rain falling now either. It's not to say that it isn't. Might just be a light drizzle now. But Coenen looking majestic at the head of the field once more on that Red Bull KTM. Just as he was in race 1. Although the latter stages, Herlings did dig deep, didn't he? And got to within a second as they crossed the line when all was said and done. But it was an 8th victory for Lucas Coenen, the young Belgian, that was the difference. He will go down as the race winner from that first race. Now he's just trying to build that gap over Romain Febvre. It's still hovering around about 3.7-ish seconds. Febvre coming into view now on the number 3 Kawasaki Racing Team machine. Your podium will be Coenen, Herlings and Febvre. 50 points, 42 points and 40 points. Then we'll have Bogus and Verlanderen tied on 31, 4th and 5th. Renault on 30 and 6th. Did he have to go a little bit too wide there through that pit turn, Lucas Coenen? Has it cost him time? Because there was a back marker right where he probably wanted to be. Because his 2:04 becomes a 2:06. Febvre goes with the 2:04.5, the fastest lap time. Yeah, look, there was a mistake there. We saw this part here where he was in uncharted territory. Didn't need to be on that part of the racetrack, so a self-inflicted mistake, putting himself under pressure. The gap 1.8 between Coenen and Febvre now. Just a slight warning for him to say, just keep focused, ride the track, don't race the track. If Febvre wants to up his game to try and get on to the rear wheel and challenge for that win, that's down to him to up his pace, and in doing so, run the risk of making mistakes as well. But this clay-baked circuit, very, very slick on the race line. You can see how shiny it is. Some of the takeoffs on the jumps, also very slick. No one tripling up on top and using the outside line there no more. But this is the gap between 1st and 2nd. We will get another split at the bottom of this hill into the next left. And Coenen was 1.8 clear, and at the moment, the gap still hovering around 1.8 as they hit that 2nd intermediate sector. But with 15 minutes plus 2 laps to go, Lucas Coenen still very much in control, but for how much longer? Because Romain Febvre closing him down. He's got him right where he wants him. And sometimes when you've disappeared and sat back and then you come back onto the rear wheel of the rider, you have a fresh set of eyes. Maybe you've experimented with other lines, and you end up kind of getting onto the rear wheel, making one pass in one foul swoop. That is what Romain Febvre is hoping can happen here sooner rather than later. But Coenen responding very well here at the moment, and looking like he's opening up that gap ever so slightly, maybe to around 2.2 seconds as we head towards the end of this 7th lap. So out of the final turn, Lucas Coenen then. He hits the line this time around. He responds to his 2:06 with a 2:05, the same as Febvre, the gap 1.9 seconds. Herlings still 4.2 seconds behind these two. But that's going to be a first podium of the season for Jeffrey Herlings if he stays where he is. But 14 minutes to go, still not a lot between Coenen and Febvre as they fight over the race win in race 2. Febvre going looking again. Still nothing in it between them in the greater scheme of things. How much is Febvre kind of eyeing up an opportunity to pass? Because he knows if he's sat right on the rear wheel, he's just going to get roosted. Goggles are going to take a pounding, run the risk of having little or no visibility and having to chuck goggles in the later stages of the race. Doesn't want to do that if he's challenging for that race win. The threat is not there from behind. Herlings 4 seconds adrift at the moment. Coenen fastest in sector 2 of the race, 31.1 seconds, gaining 3/10 on Febvre on that part of the racetrack. Ah, back markers, out of the way, out of the way. Coenen getting caught there. Febvre may also feel the wrath of the back marker as well. 470 Peter Koenig on the Saarholz KTM. Look, again, and Febvre does get caught behind him. The same back marker interfering with the leader's race. Febvre is going to be absolutely fuming that that's going to cost him. It was 1.9, the gap, and surely we're looking more towards 2.5, 2.3, 2.7 or 8 seconds. Watch this here. Koenig in his own race, oblivious that Coenen's gone by. Febvre with all that work to do again. 8 laps in the books for Coenen, 2:06.8. How much time did it cost Febvre? Might only cost him a 10th in the overall lap. 2.1 now the gap between first and second. The perils of mud racing. Lucas Coenen continues to lead, 2.1 seconds clear. Both riders got held up by a back marker a moment ago. Let's take a look at the start again, right at the start of the race, shall we? And see how Lucas Coenen bagged his 7th foxhole shot of the season. Over to the left-hand side as we look down. Rider getting parked on the gate there. That might have been Jago Kiet's red boots. But this was the foxhole shot for Coenen. Febvre right there, Herlings right there as well. Oh, it was a Fantic that got left behind on the gate. Bonacorsi maybe, because his 2 teammates much further up the field. Deep ruts. Febvre's been going wide and cutting back across there, not taking the risk, running those deep inside ruts where you can easily snag a chain and things like that. But the gap 2.1 at the start of the lap. Looks like it's gone out a little bit more over the course of the lap. And Coenen now with just under 11 minutes plus 2, once again very much in control of this race. So the gap staying 2.1 on our timing at the moment, but all the time Coenen starting to stretch out an advantage over Febvre behind him. Renault trying to muscle his way down the inside of Coenen half. This is through turn 1, the exit of turn 1. These two fighting over 5th place. Coenen off in 5th in the blue top. Looks across, sees Renault there, 959 on the Yamaha, on the blue machine. Both riders a little bit off balance as they step back into view. Renault now up in the 5th place. Renault tips out of the final turn, gets ready to hit the line to complete lap 9. Bogus 29 seconds off the lead, and Febvre more annoyance, and he's lost a position. Herlings has gone through. So Febvre, did he just get caught by Herlings as a result of what happened to him and Peter Coenen a moment ago, or was there another mistake because there was another hand gesture and Herlings has gone through into second position? More frustration then for the number 3. Just needs to keep his emotions in check, take a deep breath for a lap or so, and then maybe have a go at Herlings, because he did manage to pull 4 seconds on him. So in the greater scheme of things, he should be quicker. Herlings using that outside-inside as Febvre goes for that deep inside rut through the left-hander, turn 14. When we look at lap times from race 1, 1:48.7, 2:04.5 was the fastest from Romain Febvre this time around. So the Cherby's fastest lap this weekend is going to go to Romain Febvre, 1:48.7 in race 1. It's not doing him any favours here, though, is it? Nearly 2 seconds down on. Well, we'll see next time when he comes over the line. Herlings setting the fastest intermediate sector 1. Coenen fastest in sector 2. Herlings faster than his 2 rivals in sector 3. Is he closing in? Yes, he is. 1.8 behind Lucas Coenen. Herlings has come alive, 2:03.9. He's just put the fastest lap in of the race, and the Red Bull KTM rider knows now that it's now or never to get that Grand Prix victory here in Germany. Couldn't find his way past Coenen in race 1. It was a high-speed racetrack where a mistake that cost you half a second in a corner could take 2 laps just to make up. But now with this as a level playing field, backmarker looking across, he sees Coenen go through, checks where the next rider is. That's Brant Van Donnick. That's why that was smart riding. Van Donnick in 20th place. Dirk Grubel looks on, former technical director at Red Bull KTM Factory Racing. And Herlings going after Coenen. Once again, the young pretender versus the veteran 5-time world champion. Still riding himself back to full fitness. How far off that full fitness is he? Jeffrey Herlings. Both these riders have now broken Romain Febvre with 7 minutes plus 2 laps to go. There is Febvre, trying to dig deep, get Herlings back into his line of sight. This is why Febvre had a problem. Look, gets caught behind the back marker here, and then all the way through this next section, gets held up. Herlings jumps his way into the pit, gets good momentum, and then goes past. Febvre wasn't expecting that. He tried to dig deep and couldn't. Herlings had already gone by him by the next turn. And that's all it was. But again, back markers. I'm sure we'll hear about that in the press conference later on today. Oh, see, we're down. See, we're out of 9th place. And Guadagnini out of the race. He was in 19th. This is how close it is between first and second. Again, Herlings' line jumping into this bomb hole here. The momentum that got him alongside Romain Febvre. Coenen not aware of it at the moment. I'm not sure he's aware that Herlings isn't even there. Oh, talk about sprint racing. Last 6 minutes, this race has really come alive. Figured it would do, though, with the conditions. Ride smart, protect your goggles, preserve your visibility. Kato Nickel needs to stay out of the way here, and he does, just about. It's cost Herlings a little bit of time, though, more than he would have liked. But the 84 keeps a cool, calm head about him. Coenen making a run for it. Febvre trying to close back in on Herlings. They look like they're pretty much equidistant in terms of their pace apart. How many times does the bullet need to dig deep to get back onto the rear wheel of Coenen? any more digging, he's going to need sponsorship from some groundworks people, isn't he? But there is, oh, see, we're down again, coming out of pit lane, straight. Bad to worse end for Siwa in these conditions this time around. Normally very, very good in the mud. But with 4 minutes plus 2 to go, this one is not over by a long chalk. Into lap 13, the gap between first and second, Coenen and Herlings, less than 3/4 of a second. Once again, Coenen being caught by the bullet, who couldn't do anything about Coenen in the first race. Does he have time left? 3:40 plus 2 laps. Lap times 2:05, 2:06 between these two. Roman Febvre 2:05 as well. Can't afford to make a mistake. These three riders, apart from the little mistakes of Febvre, no mistakes of his own, I might say. There was one here right at the start of the race, but other than that, apart from getting held up by back markers, that's been the tale of his race. But these two have been pretty much inch perfect, barely a mistake. I think Coenen had one just at the end of the waves early on as well. Panic rev there as he came into land, Herlings. Sector 1, 32.4, 33.2. Coenen putting about a second between himself and Herlings. Bottom of the hill, they're still using, they're all using this outside, inside, although Coenen went wide. Herlings both feet off the pegs. Sector 2, Coenen responds, fastest sector of the race, 30.6, Herlings 31.5. So a massive response for the Belgian. We'll get sector 3, the other side of Liqui Moly Mountain, as they peel through this left-hand turn. Round about now-ish, 27.8 for Coenen. Herlings 27.7, he pulls a 10 back, but at the start of the lap, that gap was 0.706 between first and second. Yeah, Coenen made a mistake at the end of this straight, didn't he? All by himself, just a few laps ago, when he got out of the line. Hit a lot of dirt, much deeper than he wanted to. But he's weathered the storm once again. Proving you can pretty much throw anything at this kid and he'll deal with it head on. The gap 1.3. But all of a sudden, hard on the brakes into the turn here. Herlings right back onto the rear wheel. Ah, fascinating stuff this between the Belgian and the Dutchman. You cannot take your eyes off this battle between first place Lucas Coenen and Jeffrey Herlings, the two Red Bull KTM riders going at it here. 1.3 as they hit the line a moment ago. A few corners further around the track. Coenen on the ropes once more as Herlings gets his claws in again. But how many times can he find his way onto the rear wheel and get close enough to maybe make a pass happen? That is the question, because so far he wasn't able to do it in race 1. Despite reeling in the Belgian right at the end of the race. But he's had a good 5 minutes to do something about the 96 ahead of him, to try and challenge for that lead. Every time he does seem to get close, the response is rapid from Coenen and leaves Herlings going back in search of answers. The old adage, like, what do you do about a problem that is Lucas Coenen? Especially when he's leading the race, especially when you're trying to find a way by him. He's really becoming the problem child, isn't he, in MXGP for the established front runners. Deciding, Jeffrey Herlings, to follow Coenen's lines now. Apart from here, goes the long way round. Maybe it's a little bit quicker. Whoa, time has just ticked down. We are going to get the 2-lap board this time around, 1 corner from now. 2 big laps for Lucas Coenen, 2 massive laps for Jeffrey Herlings, because this will be the difference between second overall and the top step of the podium for either one of these 2 riders here in Germany. Coenen coming up short on the finish line. The gap probably closer than it's been all race. 6/10 as Herlings sets the fastest lap of the race. rails that outside. He's getting the distance here. This is where he passed Roman Febvre. He's going to go all the way around the outside of Coenen here. Coenen surely looks across. He's going to have to go defensive. He does. Is it going to be too much? Yes. Herlings gives him a nudge to the outside. Fans on their feet. Herlings takes over the lead with 2 to go. And look at the response there from Coenen. Tries immediately to find his way up the inside. It cost him some time. And Herlings now starting to pull clear. Listen to the fans, they're all behind Jeffrey Herlings here. Talk about a comeback. Herlings will say, don't call it a comeback. A nervous look there as he got held up in that turn. This still isn't over, is it? He's pushing too hard here, just making 1 or 2 little errors, trying to break the resolve of Lucas Coenen. Coenen had him licked in race 1 to the tune of about 9/10 of a second. Herlings wants to let him know that, yeah, I might not be 100%, but I'm here, and I'm here to win. Hasn't won a Grand Prix since his home Grand Prix round 16 last year at Arnhem in the Netherlands. His last race win, the final round of the championship last year in race 2. And Jeffrey Herlings getting ready to enter his final lap. He set the fastest lap last time around, 2:03.555. It's a 2:04 this time around. And the gap between him and Lucas Coenen already 4.7 seconds. He knew he had to go in hard here. Coenen tried to defend, no way through. And it's the first time really we've seen anybody ruffle the feathers of Lucas Coenen. And credit to him though, he did try to respond. He thought, right, you're going to go for the obvious line, I'm going to cut back. But there was just no traction. And Coenen was just slip sliding away. Minimal contact there. But it paid off. The persistence paid off for Herlings. Jeffrey Herlings looking at a 2-1 here in Germany. It's round 10, but he didn't enter the championship till round 4. A 20th and a 7th in the deep sands of Sardinia. Hinted that there was no way he was 100% fit. A 10th and 11th in Trentino, round 5, his second race back. A 14th and a 4th. Gradually things were improving. 4th overall in France a week ago with a 3rd and a 5th place finish. 2 top 5 finishes for him. Suggested that he's not too far off. 2 look-backs to make sure there is no threat. And Jeffrey Herlings, at a venue where he broke a collarbone here on the opening lap of an MX2 race a few years ago. He broke his neck here 2 years ago, coming out of this turn that ended his championship chances. He got landed on by Jorge Prado on the finish line as well. After those two went 1-2. This place has definitely served as one of those tracks for Jeffrey Herlings down memory lane. Quick victory salute as he goes past. Jeffrey Herlings, a 4-time winner in Germany, 3 times here at Teutschenthal, 1 at the Lausitz-Ring, 5 wins in Germany, but crucially, Jeffrey Herlings is back. He's back on the top step, and he does it here, round 10 at Teutschenthal. He has sent the message out to Roman Febvre, to Lucas Coenen and the rest of the rivals. He's not here to pick up the pieces anymore, and the small fries and the Cocoa Pops and the whatever else. He wants the lot. He wants the top step. He wants the big bonus. He wants the big points. Jeffrey Herlings moves up to 10th place in the championship standings. And it's win number 108 for the Bullet. What a response for Jeffrey Herlings, who wins the Liqui Moly MXGP of Germany from Lucas Coenen and Roman Febvre. just waiting for a few more riders to get over the line. We're also waiting for Jeffrey Herlings to get from the finish line to the start line area, which is round the way there. But Herlings, masterful, bided his time. Had a few goes at Lucas Coenen. Lucas Coenen, though, was steadfast. He wanted to keep the bullet behind him for as long as possible, for the entire race if possible. But Herlings found a way through. He found a line coming out of turn 7 where he was able to jump long, carry corner speed up onto the city jump and into the new corner on the racetrack. Just enough contact, maybe. It was minimal, but he was just able to nudge his way down the inside of Lucas Coenen to take the lead with 2 laps to go. And from there, he never looked back, apart from the final lap, to see where Coenen was. And by then, the answer was already 5 or 6 seconds down. He crossed the line. About 7 seconds clear in the end. But Jeffrey Herlings, Red Bull KTM, back on top. Won his first race, round 3, age 15, back in 2010. His third ever Grand Prix. And here he is, 201 Grand Prix later, on the top step for the 108th time. Here he is with Lisa.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations. Your first overall victory, sealed with a race win. You've waited a long time for this.
Yeah, honestly, since last year Arnhem, I think. So it's been a while, obviously, you know. Coming back from ACL wasn't easy. I mean, like, just Jet Lawrence is a super talent, but from my side, I just did 3 days on the bike, came back. Everybody said I had to retire, but this old man on a good day can still ride pretty okay. So now I'm really happy with the win, and yeah, gotta give it the Red Bull KTM racing team. And yeah, just everyone around, thank you.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey Herlings wins race 2 here in the Liqui Moly MXGP of Germany. The Red Bull KTM rider, the Bullet, going 2-1 to win in Germany. His 5th victory on this particular soil, his 4th time as a winner around here. A 2nd and a 1st. 108 Grand Prix victories now in the books for the old guy who on a good day can still make things happen. His words a moment ago, not mine. And the fans love that as well. I'm guessing it's going to be quite a popular win down there on the podium. Grand Prix winners so far this year: Tim Geiser with 3, Roman Febvre with 3, Lucas Coenen with 2, Maxime Renaux with 1. Jeffrey Herlings adds his name to the list. 5 different winners now in 2025. We'll give you the results in a moment. But Jeffrey Herlings, your winner from race 2. Found a crucial chink in the armour of Lucas Coenen to take over the lead with 2 laps to go. And he went on to win comfortably in the end, 7 seconds clear of the Belgian. Febvre 3rd, Renaux 4th, Bogus, Koldenoff, Gifting and Panzer. Another top 10 finish for the Slovenian. 9th in the race belonged to Cornelius Toendal, Calvin Verlanderen picking up 10th. And then we had Albi Ferrato, Jargo Geerts, Ben Watson, Jeremy Seewer, up and down race for the Ducati rider. Max Spies, good points again for Josh Gilbert, 20th in race 1, 16th in race 2. Good day at the office for the Brit. Van Donnick, Van der Moosdijk, Alonso and Tom Cock. The overall championship standings in a moment, but the Grand Prix, Herlings ties the points with Lucas Coenen, but his result in race 2 seals the deal. Grand Prix win, number 108 for the Bullet. Coenen 2nd, Febvre 3rd. Then we had Maxime Renaux and Calvin Verlanderen rounding out the top 5. And in terms of the championship, Roman Febvre continues to lead, but the gap now, this weekend, coming down to 36 points between himself and Lucas Coenen. It was 47 at the start of the weekend. So a good day for Lucas Coenen. Jeffrey Herlings and all of that as well, moved from 11th to 10th in the championship. Small fry in the greater scheme of things for him. Just happy to be back on top, challenging for race wins, winning Grand Prix, and adding more wins to the record books. In the manufacturers' standings, things look like this. 9 manufacturers this year that have scored points. Kawasaki leading the way, KTM up to 2nd, Honda down to 3rd. Of course, no representation really this weekend. Geiser out and Fernandez out for now. Yamaha there in 4th, and we've got Fantic and the rest, and then Triumph, look, with those 5 points from a week ago in France. Take a look at the foxhole shot. Once again, Lucas Coenen adding his name to the list. Back-to-back foxhole shots this weekend, so he picked up foxhole shot number 6 in race 1, number 7 in race 2. 13 now in the career of the young Belgian. Roman Febvre is next on 3, with Jeremy Seewer also on 3. More than a handful of people have also picked up 1. Tell you what, that guy's going to go roly-poly, isn't he? Anyway, let's go down to the podium, shall we? And I'm sure it'll be an interesting one, and a very much welcome one. A different winner on the top step of the podium. 5 winners now in 2025. But the guy on the top step of the podium, no stranger to winning, with Grand Prix victory number 108. Roman Febvre, 3rd overall this weekend. Daughter Nina loves being up on the podium. Of course, she loves it even more when she's on the top step of the podium. But Roman Febvre with a 4th and a 3rd for Kawasaki Racing Team this weekend. Oh, normally likes to sit down there, but it's pretty wet. 2nd overall, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing's Lucas Coenen, the young Belgian. A win and a 2nd here this weekend. But it's been long overdue. Round 16 last year, Arnhem at home in the Netherlands. Jeffrey Herlings here at round 10 in 2025. Takes the top step of the podium here on the Red Bull KTM. Mama Valentina, Mama inverted commas. She's been there since he burst onto the scene as a 15-year-old in 2010. But Jeffrey Herlings, Grand Prix victory number 108. 4 wins here at Teutschenthal, 1 at the Lausitz Ring as well. 5 in total on German soil. And what a way to do it, his 1st of the season. Joel Smets. It's been a good day for him. He'll take the trophy back to their base overnight. Back to Lommel. Stephanie Schmitz, the regional director of Saals Parkas. Roman Febvre with the 3rd place trophy here this weekend. 9 podiums in 10 rounds for the Frenchman, who's still very, very much in control of this championship. 2nd overall, Lucas Coenen. He'll take his trophy from Michael Scheffler, the Member of State Parliament, Saxony-Anhalt. Of course, we can't do these Grand Prix without the support from all the local communities, dignitaries, and all the rest of it. So once again, thank you for letting us into your part of the world here. But Jeffrey Herlings, this one long overdue. A 4-time winner here in Teutschenthal. Crucially, it's his 1st win of 2025. Jeffrey Herlings on the top step of the podium for his 108th Grand Prix victory. That's your podium here this weekend. Jeffrey Herlings, your winner. He ties points with Lucas Coenen. Roman Febvre, 3rd overall, but it's Febvre who continues to lead the championship by 36 points as we head to Latvia. And Joel Smets takes the team trophy on behalf of Red Bull KTM this weekend. But the championship leader's red plate delivered once again by Mr. Antonio Alia Portela. Roman Febvre remains in red as we head to Kegums 1 week from now, round 11, as we start the 2nd half of the season. Jeffrey Herlings, national anthem for the Netherlands. Next national anthem for Austria, winning manufacturer this weekend. You know you've been off the podium for a while when the rookie next to you, who's bagged a few of them this year, says to Jeffrey Herlings, there's another anthem here to come. Put your hat back down by your side. There's more to come. Jeffrey Herlings wins here the Liqui Moly MXGP of Germany. Lucas Coenen second, Roman Febvre third. We'll talk to the top three in a few moments' time. Here's the highlights of race 2, though. What a race it was. The second MXGP race under cloudy skies. We'd had a big downpour during the 1 hour break between sessions. It didn't stop Lucas Coenen grabbing foxhole shot number 7. Alongside him, Roman Febvre and Jeffrey Herlings there in third. Two Fantics of Coenen and Bogas were there 4th and 5th. As Renault in 6th position. Panzer made a slight mistake there through the turn, but it was Coenen once again who led the way. Bogas got the better of his teammate as he moved into 4th early on in the race. Coenen would come under pressure later on in the race, though, by Maxime Renault, as those two battled over 3rd place in the championship. Just ahead of these two early on, though, was Jeffrey Herlings, who looked like he was just biding his time until he got this opportunity to go past Roman Febvre, who got held up by a back marker, couldn't get himself back online. All of a sudden, Herlings was up to 2nd position and gunning for Coenen for the race win. He got alongside him, and then with 2 laps to go, nudged the Belgian aside. He took over the race lead, and from there he was in Grand Prix winning position, unless of course Coenen could fight back. He tried, but he wasn't able to succeed, and in the end Jeffrey Herlings running out the final turn. He went on to win by 7 seconds. Coenen was 2nd, Febvre 3rd, but the Grand Prix victory going to Jeffrey Herlings. Coenen 2nd, 3rd overall. Win number 108 for the Bullet.
Jeffrey Herlings, congratulations. 2 patient, well-timed races from you. Persistence does pay off because you were digging in deep. What does this victory mean to you?
Yeah, you know, I've come a long way. You know, when you saw me coming back to Sardinia with just a couple days on the bike, I almost got led by Lucas, our man, Tim, and then we're 2 months further and I managed to win, you know. So it's, I'm really thankful for the win. I mean, the other guys did really, really well. And the second moto was difficult because you had to save your vision and also try to pass. And there was not many good lines because everyone was taking the dry one. But I managed to pass Romain, Lucas, and to manage to win the moto plus the overall. So I'm really thankful for that. And yeah, looking forward to the next race.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Second overall today, we have Lucas Coenen. Lucas, 2 good starts, dealt with the pressure well in race 1 with that race win. Race 2, you all out of answers, but good championship points for your weekend.
Yeah, I guess I'm a 2nd place guy now, 3 in a row, but I mean, no, it was good fights with Jeffrey. Track was tricky. First moto was good, but second moto, I was just trying to keep on to wheels because it was really tricky, and lab riders made it really difficult because I made a little gap, but they were always like, when you're the first one to hit them, you lose a lot of time. So yeah, I guess that was a bit of a bummer, but overall, yeah, Jeffrey rode good. Didn't see it coming, was a bit not sure about my line, sorry. But he found some good lines, so he overtook me, and then I said, yeah, just go. I finished with same points as him, so yeah, good weekend, and now Kekums is coming up, so looking forward.
Thanks, Lucas. 3rd overall today, we have Roman Febvre. Roman, a 4th and a 3rd. You've got the podium, but I guess just a frustrating day for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. It's still some good result. I'm on the podium, so I will be happy with this weekend. Consistent, it's the key. If I have a bad weekend and I finish on the podium, it's not bad. So yeah, just I had the speed, both moto, but yeah, somehow could not bank the pass. The second moto lap rider was really annoying, and yeah, nothing to say. Congrats to Jeffrey to win the GP, and then yeah, we will work on a little bit harder to get better start for next week in Latvia.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, if he's on the podium on a bad day, it's not a bad day, is it? 8 podiums in a row since round 3 for Roman Febvre. 3 wins, the rest seconds, apart from today where he was 3rd overall, but 9 from 10 rounds. It's pretty good going for the championship leader. Lucas Coenen, on the other hand, he's on the run of 5 consecutive podiums, 2 wins, 3 seconds, with his first and second place finishes here today. But what a performance from the young Red Bull KTM rider once again, and closing down the gap to 36 points to the championship leader. Jeffrey Herlings put himself in good positions in both races. Good start, came up short in race 1 with a second to Coenen. Race 2, he reversed the trend. Went after him, hunted him down, took the win, took the overall Grand Prix victory. Jeffrey Herlings, a 4-time winner here in Teutschenthal, 108 wins in the books now. The Red Bull KTM rider, Jeffrey Herlings, is back to winning ways here at round 10. And with that, we are out of time. We will see you next week when we head to the MXGP of Latvia at Coenen. From me, Paul Malin, the rest of the team, thanks for watching. We'll see you then. Bye for now.